So this squabbling back and forth started to happen between, I think Vito and Eric July, where every single day, like on his show, he's talking about Vito. And I think I said something like that. I said, this is all a distraction from making comics. Like, Vito versus Eric July. This isn't. So I get a message from him that basically says, it's not Vito versus Eric July. It isn't. He's like, this is a one-way thing where he's attacking me and my business, and I have nothing to do with it. And I'm like, every day you talk about it, dude. Every single day. It isn't just one way. So that's when I got a text from Eric July, and I posted that text on Twitter. And the text essentially said, when I got it, I stared at it for a long time. And I was scared. It scared me. And you're not going to know that because, if you're not on the other end of that, if your business doesn't depend on kind of getting along with a lot of people in this sphere, some people are kind of, you don't really need them. Some people are troublemakers that you don't really need, and et cetera, et cetera. But Eric July shares my audience. So I get this message from him, and it was just like basically saying, I could quote it. I might as well quote it first. Let me just see it and pull it up so I don't get it wrong. Okay, here we go. So this is the message that I received. This is a tweet out of nowhere. And tweets from Eric, they don't come very often. I don't ask for him. I never tweet him. He tweets me. So it says, I'm going to be 100 with you and not be public about this. You going out of your way to play the middle of the road publicly with a dude, referring to Vito, that has gone out of his way to work overtime to publicly defame is whack. It's even weaker that you lend credence to their narrative, meaning their criticism. I'm supposed to just go, their criticism was invalid because it was in bad faith. I'm not doing that. He says, I treat you like I do anybody else in this space. That's weird. I'm Ethan Van Sciver. Perhaps you should be treating me differently than everybody else in this space. I'm somebody who's been doing comics for 30 fucking years. I was nominated for an Eisner. You sitting there telling me that I'm receiving equal treatment to your fans is interesting. And I do not use my platform to amplify narratives that go against others I'm cool with. Everybody I do shows, streams with knows not to bring up gripes with people I'm cool with, as I will not give it the time of day. He says, I'm going to start reciprocating on that. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. To me, I hear this. He goes, if you want to chat about it, you're free to call. So we did. We got on the phone. To me, I received this as, stop criticizing me in public, or I'm going to, I'm going to unleash influencers who want to go at you. I'm going to tell them they can go ahead and go at you. It was a threat. It was just a threat. It was a nicely, carefully worded threat. So I sat on this. I called him. I talked to him. I said, this is a threat, Eric. You're threatening me. He goes, threaten. I go, you know where I'm from? I'm not stupid. This is a threat. You're basically telling me that if I don't shut my mouth, you're going to allow your friends who are in high places, who are influencers on YouTube, to attack me. That's what you're saying here. And he was like, I said, Eric, I got to tell you, I got to be honest with you about all this stuff. We got to be able to talk about this stuff, you and I. I give you advice, and you just, basically don't listen. It's a mistake not to listen. I'm giving you decent advice. It's leading you down a path where it's making your life more and more difficult. And, he said, you know what, Ethan? He said, you think you're more important to indie comics than you actually are. And then he choked on the last word and kind of pulled it back. So I was like, there's a whole fucking shitload of resentment underneath the surface of this that I've just kind of tapped into. Eric seems like a nervous wreck. So I talked to him and I said, I understand why me disagreeing with you publicly might cause you stress. And I will try not to do that, but don't threaten me like this ever again. And he smiled and went, okay, we're cool. So I sat with this for since August 11th until now. And I thought about what a coward I am for not immediately exposing this, for not immediately sharing this. I should have done it right away. And not because I'm mad at Eric or anything like this, but this isn't cool. Like, is he doing this to other people? Because everybody seems to be afraid to like read the comic and criticize it or offer genuine criticism. Everybody seems afraid. That's not what Comicsgate is. You know, that's not what Comicsgate's supposed to be. It's like people are supposed to be making comics and having, it's like, this wasn't so good. This could be better. Reviewing comics. You know, I mean, certainly when Cyberfrog Blood Honey came out, there were nobody was afraid to criticize it. And I listened. And that's why Wreck Planet is as good as it is. But I sat with it for a long time. And then I started to see him and the Nick Rekieta thing. And I got Nick Rekieta out there saying that he's aware that there's a blacklist. And I wondered if I was on it. And I was pretty sure that I was. Because I don't really hear from Eric. But, you know, in fact, that's it. I don't hear from Eric. Not since then. So I started to think about that. And then I started to notice, like, I started to notice this thing happening where he started bullying Nick Rekieta. And Nick didn't really do anything to him. You know, he started making streams attacking Nick's career and stuff. And I'd be like, what the hell is this? Like, Nick didn't do anything to Eric July, really. You just show me where Nick did anything to Eric. Nick has tried to stay out of it. But you know, Eric will make a video and Nick's like, I got to respond to this. And he'll make a response and Eric demands that he come on the show. That didn't go well for Eric. And Nick tried to stop him from saying some of the things that he was saying. And all the while I'm watching this, I'm thinking about the text that I got. And I'm like, I should have shared that. I should have shared that. I should have just let that out. And meanwhile, stuff is rolling downhill quickly for Rippaverse and Eric July. The lawsuit is a fucking nightmare. I think it has merit, but I hope I'm wrong. You know, and yesterday I poked my head in his live stream, and I think he was talking about me and his chat. My name was all up his chat. And I was like, what is this? Like, I haven't watched him in a while. And so I came on my live stream yesterday. I mentioned it, like I said at the beginning of this. I said, listen, guys, you know, I just want to say real quick, like, you know, Eric sent me this threat like 2 months ago. I don't know. And then I went into his live stream again today, just poked my head in. And again, he's bullying Nick. I don't know why. I don't know what this is with like Nick. And then it's like Vito. And then, you know, Dick Masterson and all this stuff. And, you know, by the way, Dick and Vito are getting everything they want out of this. All they want is attention, but I don't think Nick does. And then my name in the chat saying things like, yeah, Ethan's probably just jealous. Ethan's jealous. Ethan's jealous. What the fuck? Like, I mean, honestly, like for somebody who's like, I want to stay out of it. And, you know, you don't talk about me. And there's a lot of like oblique references to people that I care about. And it seems to be making their lives harder. So, somebody in the chat said, you know, yesterday Ethan said that you threatened him. And I had the volume down, so I didn't hear it perfectly. Somebody will have to tell me, but it sounded like Eric was saying that he didn't do that. So I said, I got receipts. I turned them over to All Caps Comics, the Twitter account. I said, go ahead and post these. A picture of the text. And I said, this felt like a threat to me.